All right, we are getting quite a full house, which is super exciting. I see lots of new names, new faces. Welcome. So glad to have everyone here. If this is your first meeting, we hope you'll stay till the end. Hi, Charlie, so that we can all introduce ourselves and everyone can say hello. Otherwise, if this is the first time you're attending a meeting with us, we do ask that you stay muted unless you're presenting or asking a question, just so we can make sure there's no feedback and everyone can be heard. All right, so we're going to get started. I will pull up our treasurer's report and turn the floor over to our treasurer, Eric.
Hey, thanks, Jess. So if we can start on the balance sheet, that would be, yep, great, perfect. So as you can see here, for the month of February, we ended with just shy of $2,000, $1,800 plus in checking. Savings remains at $17,000 and petty cash remains unchanged at $859. Really nothing to call out notably here. Any questions on the balance sheet? All right, if we move over to the income statement, again, February is not very active. We did see actually a healthy uptick in residential memberships, mostly driven by households. So the 335 is actually attributed to mostly to household memberships coming in. We did get 13 cents in interest on the savings account. And then our normal utilities, monthly bills of rent for the info center and utilities. And then the technology fee was largely part of the accounting software Applos that we use for our accounting. Any questions on the income statement? All right, thank you, appreciate it. Back to you, Jess.
Okay, all right, we'll move right into our probably biggest portion on the docket this evening. We're going to spend about the next 15 minutes talking to some local neighbors who are potentially looking at purchasing the building at the corner of East Moeller and South 4th Street, 106 East Moeller. This is an informational presentation, so they're going to share some information about what they might like to do with that space, what that could look like in the future. So we will not be taking a vote this evening. We're going to ask them to share information for about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll take that extra portion of 10 minutes for just question and answer. So if you've got a question, hang on to it, and I will turn the floor over to you, Carly. Looks like you're all there.
Hi, we're here. Sorry, it's really tight. Cool. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
That's possible. Okay. Can you see that?
We sure can.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, we are here tonight to talk about the former Bake Me Happy building, and my name is Carly. I'll be one of the architects in the project. This is my partner Evan Much, and these are friends Alex and Arlie Pertel. Sorry, I should say. And this is Rowan, their daughter.
Rose says hi.
We all live on the south side as well. Alex and Arlie live on Gate Street, and we used to be neighbors with them, and now we live on Cosset Street. So we just kind of wanted to come here tonight and talk to you about the project, what we're planning, and why we need neighborhood support. Okay, so this is the project site, and I've kind of outlined the existing building, and then we just want to emphasize that the 23 parking spaces to the south are also part of this project, so there will be parking available. Then this is kind of what you guys would know now is what the existing building is. We have the Bake Me Happy at the front. They have a commercial kitchen, offices upstairs, and then there's this really cool vacant space right now. We're kind of calling it warehouse, but it's not used currently on the west side of the building. So I will show you what that looks like. And inside, this is what it looks like. So it's super cool. And we think there's a ton of potential for this space. And what we're planning and kind of hoping is to turn this space into an event space. We're thinking like community events, corporate events, weddings, and then the ability to break it down into smaller spaces, like bridal showers, birthday parties, things like that to kind of bring some life back into this empty building. And then, so once we take it over, the event space will be on the west side, and we would like to bring a coffee shop into the front again. Since I think it's public now that Bake Me Happy has bought their own building, we are in talks with a local coffee company, and we really like the idea of creating another destination spot for the neighborhood. The one thing that comes with all this, and kind of the main reason we're here tonight, is that with these added uses, we have a bigger parking deficit, and that's something we're working with the city on now. We think that based on these uses, even with our 23 spaces, we have a deficit of about 100 parking spaces, and that's something that's kind of typical for the area. Other restaurants like Fox in the Snow and Mid-City Garage also need these kind of variances because there's just not a ton of parking, off-street parking. The other thing to take into account, that 100 spaces is based on if the event space was fully in use, the coffee shop was fully in use, the office was fully in use at one time. So if we consider like offset demand where the event space was happening after coffee shop and office, our parking would probably be close to like a 60 space deficit, which we're aware is still a lot. It can sound scary. So we've been working on a parking study, and this is something the city frequently asks for, and we can kind of show you the results, and Evan can talk about that.
Yeah, so here's the parking study we perform. We've been kind of working with the city to determine, exactly which streets they want us to look at. And they have like a very kind of like scripted way of doing the parking study. So here's the results, and kind of as you can see, some streets are busier than others, but overall the area is parked at about 35% on average. And if we were to add the 100 extra cars, we'd be at about 55% on average. The city recommends we keep that under 80%. So, overall it's not bad, but as people who live in the area and park on the streets ourselves, we're trying to keep that number even lower. So we're trying to do like a few extra things to make the situation better. Arlie's gonna kind of touch on that.
So we looked in the area, and within about 15 miles, there are a lot of lots that have unavailable spaces or available spaces. To see if people are interested in partnering with us to lease spaces or share some of these spaces to help us offset. We were also thinking of other sort of ways to incentivize, could be encouraging people to use shuttles, having valet services, providing bike parking, promoting walkability. So there are ways to get creative, and we've reached out to try and find ways to make that happen.
So yeah, with that being said, last weekend we were able to walk around to some of the more immediate neighbors and kind of tell them our plans because they would probably be the most affected. We got a lot of really overwhelming support for it, and people were really excited. I think people were super encouraged that a coffee shop is potentially going back into the front space. And we got a lot of good ideas from neighbors. We heard there used to be a farmer's market in the parking lot, and we would love to bring that back. There were ideas suggested about like murals and things like that. So really, one, we're trying to come to you guys early just to make everyone aware of what we're doing, and we're just trying to make a good project for the neighborhood. So we've included an email here. If anyone has any questions in the future, feel free to reach out, and then we can answer any questions tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, folks, if you're in the actual Zoom app and you have the ability to use the raise hand feature and you'd like to ask some questions, please do that. If you're just calling in, I'll also open the floor to make sure everyone has a chance for questions. So Lauren Cardoni, you're up first.
Hey, thanks. I was just going to say it might be helpful to break down the city's parking requirements based on the current zoning code. I know the different land uses require different amounts of parking spaces per like square footage and that sort of thing. And I imagine that event space is probably what's killing you guys. So it might be helpful for the neighborhood to understand what's required for each use and how that will impact the use of the site. And just knowing the traffic that goes to Bake Me Happy currently, it doesn't seem like there's much use of that parking lot now. So it doesn't seem like continuing to have a coffee shop in that location would cause problems. So just a helpful tip, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah.
Steve David, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jess. Yeah, thanks, y'all. Really, I'm just like excited to generally like see this project. You know, this was like the first thing that my wife and I thought when we saw Big Mac was leaving. So like the concept and like and wow, like that warehouse space, like I feel like really excited about the potential there. So I'm gonna get my early like variance be damned endorsement out there, and just like really excited to see you guys continue to be part of this conversation.
Thank you.
David?
Hi, I'm David Hoyt. I'm the MVA board member at large, and I live right next to this building. So I just also wanted to say that I'm excited about it and hoping to see it go forward. And I think that all those great benefits you've enumerated and all the research that you've done would really go a long way to mitigating, any potential inconvenience with parking. I think it's definitely a thing where there's going to be a lot of benefits that might outweigh that.
Thanks.
I will echo that we definitely appreciate you guys being so proactive with the parking study, because the city doesn't always require them, certainly, but as folks who live in the neighborhood, you guys obviously know that can be a topic that is potentially problematic for folks nearby. So we really appreciate that effort to really investigate that ahead of time. Okay, I don't see any more hands raised. Is there anyone else that has some questions or any feedback they'd like to share?
I can never find the raise hand feature, so I apologize.
I
I will say that I'm excited as well. I think we can definitely work around, the parking stuff, but I'm especially excited that it will not be bulldozed and turned into high-rise condos. So
Yeah,
thank you.
us too.
Yeah.
Yes.
agree with that as well. Lauren, Larry?
Hey, this is actually Mike.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I just had kind of a question on the parking study. It seemed like, the big number obviously is for the event space, assuming you have a wedding or something large like that there. And I would think those would mostly coincide with also South Bend's busy nights, Friday, Saturday, I'd assume. So is that part of the parking study, or is that just completely unrelated?
It's, I don't know, kind of both. Yeah, we're still talking to South Bend. I don't know the exact details of their agreement, but essentially they have an agreement with the current owner to use the lot. So I think we'll anticipate, something similar.
But like just talking specifically, like the parking study, you have to take 2 days of like a weekday and a weekend. And so it's kind of just a generic look at the area. So I guess like Evan's saying, we haven't looked specifically at the what South Bend uses. So that's a good point. We'll look at that.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to comment. There's a couple comments in chat. Eric, I see you. You will go next. There's a couple comment in chat. So just some folks interested and excited about potential extra bike parking, which is great. And then Allison commented that it might be that there's a business on High Street or even somewhere else in the neighborhood that has like a large lot that might be willing to work with you guys to contract for event space to get people there as well. We've actually seen some projects do that in the past. I can't immediately recall what the last one was, but they did contract with someone who had a larger lot nearby to meet that need. So.
And that's great to hear. That's who we've been reaching out to. Well, I mean, I don't know if we've specifically reached out to the people that you might be referring to, but that was our plan, to reach out to connections and see if they're willing to partner.
Awesome. Seeing a lot of support for potential return of the farmers market. So
yay!
Yeah.
Eric, go for it.
I was just going to ask, when you showed the site plan, it showed the building with the lot with the current building on it. It had the parking lot, and it looked like there was a side lot that kind of stuck out like in an L
Yeah.
back to 3rd Street. Is that actually part of the whole property then? Would that lot, assuming that's an empty lot, then be something where you could also put parking?
So yeah, that one, it's like crazy complicated zoning wise, but yes, that leg is part of the parcel. Right now, I think like looking back for the zoning stuff, in 2006, someone tried to knock everything down, I think, and build new apartments. So that south lot is still zoned apartment use or something like that. So if we wanted to make more parking on that empty lot, we'd have to get it rezoned, which is like crazy kind of. So it's definitely something we could entertain. Currently, we're just trying to go forward with like the simplest route, which is like this parking variance, and maybe in the future come back with that if we find we really need it, or if there's like we could build a house there or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that seems more appropriate for like the alley side. Yeah, we haven't kind of touched on that little piece yet.
So you've got some options then potentially.
Yeah, so you may be hearing from us like years down the road if we can pull this off. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions or feedback? All right, I think that might be it then. Thank you guys again so much. We really love when folks come ahead and just give us presentations just to share with us what's on your mind. So we assume that this process obviously takes time, but we look forward to eventually when you've got your application in.
Yay. Okay, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, thank you again.
Sure.
Okay. All right, guys, well, we're going to move on here. Let me see. We had a gentleman that was going to join us. He's here. So we have some updates that are going to be shared with you from the Franklin County Auditor's Office, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Sam Rinta.
Hello. Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me. So I just real quick have a few updates for y'all. We are in the middle of Board of Revision season. Obviously across the county, Central Ohio, the Midwest, the whole country really, their property values are going crazy. We know because, well, we track that data. And the so we also hold the Board of Revisions here in our office where you can come and contest the value of your property. Couple years back, we did the triennial value update. We'll have the full reappraisal coming up next year. But just right now, the thing that we're really trying to focus on is the Board of Revisions, the contest. So it is a legal proceeding, but you do not need to be a lawyer to participate in that. If you have, for example, some comparable sales in your area for similar homes, or there are some specifics that you think we might have missed, you can come talk to us. We have a few mobile events where Board of Revisions staff will be coming out to into your neighborhood to try and explain the process as best as possible, help answer your questions, and help you file to the extent possible. We got one coming up on March 8th at the Parsons Library, probably the closest one to y'all. And then we got some other ones coming up as well in Franklinton, Whitehall, and Prairie Township. So like I said, that's going to be at the Parsons Avenue Library, 10:30 to 2:30 on March 8th. And then additionally, I wanted to mention, if you are a homeowner making less than $70,000 a year, we're partnering with Legal Aid this year to kind of help you navigate this process. Like I said, you don't have to be a lawyer, but it can be helpful because it is a legal proceeding. And we'll either get you in contact with a lawyer at Legal Aid or a real estate professional who'd be able to kind of help you navigate the process. They'll have they're going through training right now, and all of that information can be found on our website, which I'll share in the chat here as well. Just wanted to. The auditor would be mad at me if I didn't also mention that it's dog licensing season. So mention your dog, or so make sure to license your dog, and make sure to get that done before the deadline. And then that's about what I have for right now. I know there was a presentation earlier, so I don't want to waste too much time, but I'm happy to take any questions if you have them as well. Meanwhile, I will go ahead and post this link in the chat. But that's all I got. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you so much, Sam. Anyone have any questions for Sam in the auditor's office? Okay, I think
sorry. It's not necessarily a question for Sam. It's more for Allison. Allison, last time we went through this, I think you had shared some resources with either the association or maybe even just professionally on how to contest is that something you might have handy we could also share again? Or?
I think what you're talking about is I pulled comps for some people who didn't feel that the value was correct. And so I'm always happy to do that if anybody has questions. So feel free, reach out.
Great, thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. I knew it was something with the process.
Yeah, and then just a real quick note to the auditor's office, and I know this has nothing to do with you, Samuel, but I'll sleep better tonight if I say it. I put it in the chat, but my recycling better be picked up consistently before my taxes go up again. And I'll tell you that. I told the city last time that I'd send them a bill for transporting the extra recycling to Kroger. So if you want to take that back to your boss.
That's one way to go. We don't run the recycling program, but we do know the guys that do. So
right.
We're happy to pass it on up. Thanks for that.
Appreciate it.
And potholes would be very helpful also. I'm happy to send over my, strut and shock bills to the city while we're at it too, for not having our potholes fixed.
Hey guys, can I jump in on the recycling thing for a second? So with the Public Services Committee and the Area Commission, we are trying to get some attention because it's not just a miss here or there. There's a broader issue going on. Part of what I'm hearing is that there's a kind of tussle between Rumpke and the city, and the city needs some data. So I know it's a lot to ask, but like anytime it's missed, if you aren't already, the more 311s are filed, the more data I have to back up what I'm trying to advocate for with the city. So any help you can give there would be greatly appreciated.
I always do
the
it.
app on your phone. It's so quick.
It is. Sometimes I found that they don't go through though when I do it on the app, but I'll tell my neighbors too, because there'll be times almost every week all of the people around us get it, but our alley does not. So that's what's strange.
So if you have a couple like that, because that's something, so on the other side of Parsons, I'm hearing like whole areas that just get missed for months and months. In Merion Village, I'm hearing more that it's like this particular alley. Because for example, mine's been consistently picked up since, I don't know, last summer sometime. But then I know like some neighbors just the block over say that it gets missed every single week. So I'm trying to track that down. So if you've got anecdotal data about that, feel free to shoot it to me too. And I'm trying to kind of put together a list of those hotspots and then pair them with the 311s. So my email, it's in the chat already on the bike thing, but it's eesynk@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to collect those.
Awesome. Thanks everyone. All right, before we let Sam go, any questions at all for Sam? Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. His information is in the chat if you're looking to reach out, and we appreciate you being here.
Hey, thanks y'all. See you around.
Thanks again. All right, we will move into some of our association updates. I'm going to turn the floor over to our Vice President, Lauren Larrick, to talk about the 2022 Southside Scholarship and the chili cook-off that's coming up.
Hey everyone. So the Southside Scholarship Committee has commenced. So for anybody who's not familiar, we have the chili cook-off every year, and that is a fundraiser for the scholarship, which goes to a South High student. Last year we raised over $2,000, and it was amazing. So as of now, you can donate online. If you go to our Facebook page, we have a link there, and then of course we'll be doing in-person donations at the cook-off. And the date of that is going to be Sunday, March 20th. So it's coming up. Book it on your calendars. We'll be posting some social media stuff here soon. There will be a meat option and a vegetarian option. And there'll be a winner for each category. So, decide which camp you're in and get ready. And we will be, and David makes a good point. It starts at noon. On that Sunday, and then the committee has currently convened this year, and we will, as we do every year, we'll be getting applications together to send out to the Southside students to fill out, and then hopefully we'll get a decent amount of applicants, and it's anonymous when we select the winner or winners, and then they obviously go off and represent the South Side in their continuing education. So it's a really, really great cause. It's one of our most fun events that we do every year. And we have not been able to do it live for the last 2 years. So we're really excited to have it in person. I believe it is that Hey Hey this year, right? Mm-hmm. Yep, it is at Hey Hey, which is where we love to have it. And they're really supportive, and they have been in the past. So Hey Hey Bar and Grill at March 20th at noon. So we hope to see you there.
Yeah, the 2020 Chili Cook-Off was actually the last big event that we held right before things started shutting down. And this will now be the first event that we're holding since that time. So kind of a cool way to start back into things.
Hey, Lauren. Go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna say, would that make me one of the longest reigning chili cook-off champions?
I think it does.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too. We got a good plan this year. Hey, Lauren, was gonna ask you, have y'all shared with Southside State? Because I know last time in 2020 we had such a huge push fundraising wise when Mike had shared it with the Southside State page and all their members. Is that something y'all are planning to do? Or?
That's a good question. So Mike actually, I think, started it the first year. So I have not looked to see if he has shared it himself through Southside State, but I can definitely do that.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we hope to see lots of folks. Excited to get that going again. So, and I did put the link to the Facebook fundraiser in chat if you aren't able to attend and you'd still like to contribute to the scholarship this year. So, okay, we will move on. Let's see, is Tate here? Yes, Tate, I'm going to turn the floor over to Tate just to give everybody a little update on the mural project that we started last year during Summer Fun Days. So go ahead, Tate.
All right, great. So just a little bit about the committee. So it kind of started with the Festival Planning Committee back in 2020. And our first project was the mural on Wonderlust. And that was a pretty big success. And I hope you guys are able to enjoy and see that. And so we really wanted to build off that success in that project. So we wanted to do something each and every year. And this committee this year is separate from the Festival Planning Committees. So we wanted to kind of focus on this mural project and projects in the future. So tonight we just wanted to give you a quick update on what we got going. So unfortunately, 2021, we weren't able to start the installation, but we were able to kind of continue on the planning progress. And so what we have now is we have a couple leads on location. So our past location, which was going to be the former Village Taco building, we're looking to put that on hold for right now until they get a tenant, and we'll see hopefully in the future that might be a future location for us to begin planned. But for right now, we're going to put that on hold, we think, until there's a tenant in there, so we can then work with them. So now we do have a couple leads for location that we're working on. More details will be coming soon. We also have an artist. We sent out a call for artists last year. We got a lot of feedback, a lot of great potential artists possibly we can partner with in the future for future projects. And we're really excited. I'm not going to release the name tonight because we're going to kind of use that as maybe a fundraising surprise. So keep in touch on that, and we'll certainly update you guys as soon as we got all the details ironed out on that as well. And speaking of fundraising, we started that push last year as well, and we have around a little over $1,000 that we made. So thank you all who have donated, and we're not done yet. So we're going to continue that push. Our goal is to hopefully have around $35,000 to $5,000 to help with supplies, to help with artist fees, because we also want to pay this artist. We don't just want to be out of their kindness of their heart. And I think that's all I had. Oh, our date goal that we wanted to shoot for is either late spring, early summer. I think that's a realistic date. Once we get some of these things ironed out, and that's in the next couple of days that we should have these details. It should be going boom, 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 and we should get it up as soon as possible. And we're hoping to have a kickoff event, some type of event with it as well. So more details on that. And if you guys have any questions, I'd love to take them. Thank you.
Thanks, Tate. Anybody have any questions? Okay, all right. We will look forward to future updates. Super excited about this project, and thank you so much for being part of the team helping to move this forward. All right, now I'm going to turn the floor over to Allison, who is once again chairing our garden tour. So we've officially kicked off the search for committee members to get the garden tour planned for this year. Allison, anything you'd like to share?
Just, anybody who's interested, we have a variety of tasks. So if you like gardens, you can help us look for gardens. If you take a lot of walks, you could do, while you're taking your walk, walking your dog, you could look for gardens, pass out applications, or even just give us addresses. And then, we have the marketing side and a lot of the behind the scenes as far as getting the information that we need from the gardens to fill the brochure. Stuff like that, it's not a whole, it's not as big as a festival, obviously, but there's a lot that goes into it, but it's not too crazy, but it would be nice to have some other people join us so we can try to get some new ideas. And I know in the past they had done like a scavenger hunt or something like that. So it might just be a good idea to do something different to get a little more excitement around it, especially since we haven't really had it in person for 2 years. So if you're interested in joining, just let us know. We'd love to have you, however you are able to help.
And if you're interested and you have any ideas or other folks that might be interested, you can just have them email gardentour@merionvillage.org and Allison will get your message. All right, speaking of big planning, we have officially kicked off our festival planning committee. So I'm going to turn the floor over to the chair of that committee, Tony Rell.
Hi, everybody. We had our first kickoff meeting yesterday for the festival. Happy to announce we're moving forward with an in-person event this year. And we're working to combine kind of our COVID Summer Fun Days events with our festival and trying to get the best of both worlds there. So if you like yoga in the park on Saturday mornings, you're in luck. We're still trying to do that as well. So happy to have any volunteers that would like to help out. We've got a pretty good group started, so happy to add some new faces and look forward to having maybe the biggest one yet. We'll see. Please feel free to reach out to me or Jessica. My email address is anthonyrell, ROELL @gmail.com. If you would like to participate. Again, like Allison, it could be as big or small of an investment as you have. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony. And we will also set up the generic festival@merionvillage.org email address to send copies to Tony if anything comes through. So if that's a little easier to remember or you know someone who might be interested, just have them send that over and it'll get where it needs to go. Okay. Awesome stuff. We will move on and just talk briefly about MVA Volunteer Opportunities. So as always, there are plenty of opportunities to get involved in the MVA, whether it's participating in one of our standing committees that are year-round, or participating in one of these committees that plans an event. Always something to do. Right now, our biggest need is that we are looking for a new member to chair our zoning committee. So Lauren Cardoni, who has been chairing that for several years now, will be moving out of the neighborhood. And in fact, this is likely her last meeting this month. So we appreciate all Lauren's time and work on that committee. It's been great, but we are definitely looking for someone to step into her shoes. So if you potentially have interest in that, you can just reach out to us, just mva@merionvillage.org. Let us know. Basically involves coordinating with any developers that have put in an application through the city, and we'll need to present at our meeting for review and vote. So Lauren, if you just want to talk really briefly about kind of what that looks like for folks here who might be interested.
Sure, I just posted in the chat. It's really easy. So the Southside Area Commission is technically who sends zoning variance recommendations back to the city of Columbus, but we get a chance to hear from the applicants and send our recommendations to the Southside Area Commission. So as part of that process, we coordinate with the zoning committee in the Southside Area Commission. They basically just shoot me an email when there's something that comes through, and it'll include their application and the contact info for the applicant. And all you have to do is get them registered for the upcoming Merion Village meeting so that they can present their request. And then we have a template document that we fill some details of their request into, and then print some copies to distribute to the adjacent neighbors so that they're aware that they can attend this meeting and share their comments on the project. So I think those requests come through fairly infrequently. Sometimes we'll get like 2 in 1 month, but most of the time it's 1 every couple of months. So it's not a huge undertaking. And there is technically a Merion Village Zoning Committee with a couple of folks who will sometimes help you with distributing those physical notices, but it takes all of like 10 minutes maybe. You just get to walk around the neighborhood and meet some new neighbors.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. So hopefully somebody is interested in stepping into that role. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us, but we are looking forward to naming a new chair. Other volunteer opportunities include, of course, serving on any of our committees. If you have recently filled out one of our volunteer interest forms, we're currently collecting all of those, seeing where folks are interested, and you'll be hearing from one of our board members soon about getting you connected to the different areas where you are interested in volunteering. So for anyone who has filled out that form recently, thank you very much. And if you haven't and you would like to volunteer, you can just head over to our website, fill it out, and let us know where you think you'd like to participate. All right, we are moving on here. We'll do committee updates. We don't have anyone here from beautification. That is a committee that's kind of being reformed. So again, great opportunity to kind of shape a committee if you'd like to be involved there. Nothing new on membership this evening, except that we did just recently relaunch our business memberships. Those have been on hiatus since 2020. Very excited to get those launched again. You'll start to see us introducing business members through our social media pages as they sign up. And then, of course, if you know someone local to the area who has a business and you think that they would appreciate our various membership benefits, we would certainly love to connect with them and get them involved as a member. Social, Mike, do you have anything you want to touch on? I know there won't be a separate social this month because of the chili cook-off, but anything you want to share?
Yeah, like you said, we will be skipping this month. One, because the third Thursday is St. Patrick's Day, so that would probably be a little crazy. And because I want to focus on the chili cook-off being the main event for the month. So
We will likely restart in April. Just so you, and you're the one that forwarded me this information, but Schumacher Place did reach out and mention that they also do a third Thursday happy hour. So I'm in talks with them to see if maybe we can coordinate, maybe not every month, but every once in a while, to have more of a larger group with them since they're such close neighbors.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. I know folks are enjoying getting back to the monthly socials, so we appreciate you coordinating those, and I'm sure the local businesses appreciate it as well. It's a chance to bring in some folks who may not have checked out a spot, so thank you again. Zoning, we've already talked about that, looking for a new chair, so if that could be you, just let us know if you're interested. Let's see here. Erin, I think you are the only commissioner here at the moment. Do you have any updates you'd like to share from the Area Commission?
So other than the recycling project that I talked about, the Urban Infrastructure Revitalization Fund, we're going to be looking at some changes. So if you're interested in that, and it's a fund for the city that helps invest in, can be things like sidewalks, parks, trees, in the parts of the city that were part of the original, or the pre-1957 boundaries of the city. So that's pretty much all of Merion Village. Yeah, all of Merion Village, most of the Southside. So it's a nice way to invest in these neighborhoods, and it's really community directed. So that does sort of run through the Area Commission as we try to coordinate. But we've used it really successfully in the past to invest and improve a number of parks in the area. So I think that's something that folks would be interested in that's coming up. Other than that, I don't know that there's anything real big and important, but we will certainly let you all know so you can blast information out as need be.
List here of upcoming community events and activities. We've got, of course, the Southside Scholarship Chili Cook-Off. That's going to be Sunday, March 20th at the Hey Hey, 12 to 2 p.m. The Area Commission holds their monthly meetings on the fourth Tuesday of the month. So that's going to be Tuesday, March 22nd from 6:30 to probably around 8, I think. And those are at the Parsons Library now. Those are back to being in person. Then, of course,
we're actually at Barrack Recreation Center because the library closes really early right now. So,
all right, correction, Barrack Recreation Center. Thank you, Erin. We will update that on our agendas. So those are in person, and you can see them at Barrack. Of course, our next monthly meeting will be Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m., held virtually. And then a little further out, but the garden tour will be on Sunday, July 10th, and the Merion Village Festival will be on Sunday, September 11th. So lots of good stuff coming up there. Now, before we go totally into the open floor, I see so many new names here, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if this is your first meeting, or maybe you've never said hello and you'd like to introduce yourself, I'd love to open the floor and give folks a chance to say hello if you'd like. Don't think it's going to work. Okay, well, hopefully everyone will want to say hello in the near future. Eric's got his camera on. He's going to try to talk people into saying hi.
Yeah, I'm happy to call on people if we need to go back to, junior high.
There we go. All the cameras are coming on. Yes, if we have to go back, we will. Just start calling on names.
I'm going to do a little roulette here, and I'm just going to flip my thing down. And Chance Price, you're the lucky winner on The Price is Right. Step right up.
Oh, my goodness. Hello. Thanks for having me. Hey, my name's Chance Price. My wife's also on here, Hannah Culp, on her own video call somewhere. But we live down on East Marcusson Avenue. We've been in the neighborhood for a couple of years now, but
awesome.
New members.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, great.
Hi,
I'm
Hannah, my wife. Yes, and by couple, he means 5. It's somehow been 5 years already, which is crazy. But yeah, happy to finally be in the association.
Excellent.
Well, we are
Hannah,
so glad to have you.
You look familiar. Have you been on a meeting before?
No, this is my first one.
Oh, you might have a doppelganger in the neighborhood then.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out.
That's right. Awesome. Well, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, well, we'll do 2 more, and I'll flick the thing again. And Monica Thomas, you're the next lucky contestant on The Price is Right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Monica Thomas. My husband, Miles Thomas, is here too.
Hi, everyone. So
Hey,
last
Miles.
meeting was my first meeting, and I did say hello at the last
I
meeting.
remember you.
And now you brought a friend, so you get a free tote bag the next time we see you in person.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Please
got
do.
him.
I need to get rid of some, so please do.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
both for being here.
We live on Thurman, and we have a variance coming up, so we'll be talking about that probably maybe next month.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, now you got to kind of see how the process works a little bit. If you were there
Yeah,
last month and this month a little bit, so excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining. Okay, last roll of the dice here. Oops, that didn't work. Let me try it again. Andrew Hall, you're our last lucky contestant on The Price is Right.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I got 2 out of 3.
There he goes.
Hey, here we go.
Andrew. We can hear you.
I know, I'm unmuted. Let's see.
You're good.
Here we go.
Here we
There
go.
we go.
We were just hanging out having dinner. Hi, everybody. This is Nicole.
Hi.
And yeah, so been a Merion Village resident, live on Welch Avenue since November of 21.
Wow.
So, I think I did jump into one of the meetings a few months ago.
I think I remember you saying hello recently.
Yeah.
And they were both at the happy hour at Hey Hey.
Yes. Yes. I was recognizing the faces.
Yeah, so Allison, I'd be more than happy to jump in on the garden committee too. So
Oh yeah, that's right. Good.
looking forward to that. And the purple light that everybody sees in the background, I have a 75-gallon fish tank with some very large freshwater fish. So they're dialing it down for the night.
Nice.
Awesome.
Not a rave.
It's not a rave going on back there.
We would never have known. You should have just let us imagine and wonder.
Well, thanks for coming tonight, and thank you for being at the recent happy hour. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I won't call on anyone, but if there's anybody else that wants to say hello before I open the floor, please feel free to do so.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
My name's Alex Pertel. I'm in the same room with Carly and Evan, and there's a Kelly Pertel on. First of all, I didn't know that there were any other Pertels other than my aunt that were in here. And then my sister's name is Kelly Pertel, of all the things possible. So
we brought your
Kelly
sister.
Right? Surprise. No, that's so weird. I heard you say your name at the beginning, and I was like, I think you said my last name.
Yeah, it's wild.
His sister was on the call, and she doesn't even live here. Like, how did she get this information?
It's not your sister. So yeah, so I know some of you, and I've lurked on some of these meetings before, but I'm Kelly. I live on Moeller. I moved here late 2018. So it's good to see all of you.
And there's no lurking. When you come, you join, and you're part of the family. So no lurking. We don't know that word.
Kelly is part of our compost team.
I am.
Oh, awesome.
I am. Thank you for organizing us, Allison.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Okay, well, if there's anything else, I'll open the floor if anybody has any questions, comments, anything they'd like to share with everyone before we adjourn for this evening. Going once, going twice.
There is a good question in the chat real quick about the chili cook-off, because that's actually something I've wondered too, as someone who wants to compete but hasn't been here before. What do we do? Do we sign up, or do we just bring the chili?
You can just bring chili if you're on Facebook and you want to put a comment on the event, just to let us know if you're bringing meat or veggie, just so we kind of have an idea of how many to expect. But you don't have to formally sign up. You can just show up.
I encourage everyone to sign up in the veggie category and take Lauren down. So please sign up in the veggie, leave the meat option available for me and Mark, and we'll be the one that will win that one. Finally, we've been trying for many years unsuccessfully.
Stephen, you have something to share?
Yeah, thanks, Jess. So my question was actually about like to take the temperature on folks like bringing this back in person. I know like city council is set to remove the city's mask mandate on Monday. And like, I definitely like, I think there's like a lot of use, like maintaining some type of virtual element here, like so that to see the room and folks could jump in and get the updates. But like for me, like 4/5 of the reason I come to these like is the community building. So I would just like to put it out there that like it's something like I would be very interested in like coming back in person and just seeing if there's been any conversation about that amongst the board.
Not recently. We did bring this to the table as a group discussion last year. It's probably been about a year now. And we did talk about the potential of hybrid. We aren't sure that a full hybrid where the meetings would be live virtually and in the info center would really be feasible. The biggest improvement, at least that we've seen on our side, is certainly more consistent and larger group of attendance during the virtual meetings. And I think a lot of that might have to do with folks having kids or just schedules. But that's certainly a conversation that, you know, we can put on the agenda and kind of let folks know we're going to be talking about it ahead of time so that everybody can come. But if anybody has any thoughts they want to share on that or feedback, if you've been attending for a while or if you're just starting to attend, we'd like to hear kind of your thoughts on that.
And one of the other options too that we had discussed was, you know, going every other month, you know, virtual 1 month, in person 1 month, you know, so we're definitely open and I think flexible to the neighborhood and association, you know, interest. So like Jess said, if you've got particular views one way or the other, we'd love to hear them so that when we start to have those discussions, we take all that into consideration.
Yeah, so if folks are okay.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks so much and like really appreciate y'all's like ongoing leadership and like so many good events coming up. So yeah, like much gratitude to you all. I'm looking forward to seeing folks in person.
Awesome. Well, we can definitely put that on one of the upcoming agendas. Something else that we're going to put on agendas going forward, kind of to have conversations over the next few months, is just, you know, continuing to assess whether or not the info center should continue to be a space that we do rent and use. There are certainly a lot of benefits, but there have been some concerns raised because it obviously does cost money to keep that space. So those are both topics that we could certainly have on an upcoming agenda to maybe get folks rallied to have a discussion about those things and see what the membership would like to do. Okay, well, I will make a note of that so that we can put that on an upcoming agenda. And what we'll do is we'll plan to have that conversation so that when we send out our emails to the membership a week before the meeting, we'll actually let people know that that's going to be a topic for discussion. So, all right, anything else anybody would like to share before we adjourn tonight? Okay, I think that's it. All right, well, everyone, please remember the chili cook-off is coming up. Aside from that, we definitely hope to see you for our meeting next month. And if you're interested in donating to those fundraisers, find us over on Facebook. And of course, if you need anything, feel free to reach out. We're always available, mva@merionvillage.org. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here tonight. Another great meeting, and we will see you all next month.
All right, ready.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, thank you.